Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say welcome again to another edition of the program, The Bottom Line. And The Bottom Line is a program that discusses issues about Liberia, Liberians, what they do, their interests, and sometimes what they don't even do. So we discuss a wide range of issues here on the bottom line. But the thing here is that we will discuss the issue from the top to the bottom and we get to the deepest bottom. My co-host here is Madam Antrik Jallo. I think Antrik is doing some adjustment there with her camera, but she's from Belgium. Uh, and so I am from Norway. My name is Lim Fagua, and later on in the program, Jamel Kamara from the UK. Andre, please mute your receiver. So Jamel is going to be joining us later on during the course of the program. So it's going to be like three people here bringing you some real, factual, hot, and sensible discussion. So I let us say welcome to the bottom line, and you can follow us on Facebook. Our Facebook handle is the bottom line, and then bottom line. That it has double name bottom line, but then you can also see the bottom line Liberia, and so you can catch us on both sites, and you can also follow us on YouTube as well. So once again, welcome to tonight's edition of the bottom line. As soon as Antrik gets set, we will be getting on our way. But for now, I will introduce what we'll be talking about tonight. Tonight we have a whole lot of things to talk about. If time permits, the 1 hour and 30 minutes that we're supposed to be here, we'll make full maximum use of that time. And so tonight we'll be discussing, of course, the the book. I guess everyone has might have heard about the book, so we will be discussing the book tonight, and not details of the book, but what happened and how the chief of office staff of Mr. Alexander Cummings, Ava Tupa, got sacked or asked to relinquish his post. We'll be discussing that. If there's any advantage in asking Mr. Tupa to give up his position as chief of staff or chief of office staff to Mr. Alexander B. Cummings. We'll also be probably touching on how the chapter 13 of this book, applies to women integrity in Liberia, and then we'll be hearing from a group of ALP members, that's the All Liberia Party members, who have come to join the Alternative National Congress, the ANC, and we'll be hearing from them. And also we'll hear Mr. Alexander Cummings talk to them as well, as he welcomes them to join the ANC. So we take a short break and we will be back and kick off and get going. Again, welcome. Please share the video as you join us tonight. We got a whole house. We're going to be discussing a lot of things. We'll be discussing the book. I know you. I guess everybody might have heard about the book. The book. We wouldn't be going into details about the book, but we'll be discussing certain things around the book. So please share the video. You can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on our Facebook. That's the bottom line. But tonight, like I said, Andre is going to be joining later, and then Jamel from the UK will be joining. So we're going to have at least 3 of us here tonight to discuss. And several minds are better than one mind. So I don't know all, and so my colleagues will be joining me. Okay, welcome, Antrik. I guess Antrik is there from Belgium. Welcome. How's your day?
Yeah, been busy, single mother life.
I know, and the European thing and the difference between Europe and Africa, especially Liberia. And they say Liberian people, we no time.
Yeah, I guess. But for my own Liberian, I no time because if I
No,
have
listen, that only in Liberia when we live in Liberia, we no time. But on the
yeah.
other side, we no time.
But
There's
once we're
something
on the other side, we know what it means to
we
be
know what
on
it means.
time and what it means to be late. Yeah.
So welcome and
Thank you so much.
yeah. Like I said, we'll be discussing some things about the book. The book. I guess we have heard about the book.
Linford, I think that book is not a laughing matter. It's a serious issue. The book just exposed more the immorality of the nation that we come from called Liberia.
Yeah, that's why we call it a book. So we'll be talking some things about the book, and then we'll also be looking at how Mr. Alva Tupa lost his job. And so if you get joining or please share the video, help also share this video. And Antrik, I don't know whether you really said, but we'll take one more break, and that break will be the final one we take to come back.
Yeah, one more break, please.
Yeah, and when we take that one and that break, and when we come back, then we will be starting the show for tonight. So stay with us. This is the bottom line. My name is Linford Gwe and Antrik Jarvis in Belgium. Jamel Kamara will be joining us later.
My name is Alexander Cummings, and I want to work with honest men and women to change Liberia for the better. I want to open the doors of governance to all capable persons. I want to use the collective brain power of all of our men and women. I want to build a nation of self-sufficiency. I want to build an environment that thrives on and promotes a vibrant Liberian private sector. I want to ensure that we are a nation where education is key in all of our national development priorities. I want to create and nurture a development agenda that ensures our young people have jobs when they graduate from school. I want to create an environment where our women have access to equal opportunities in every aspect of our society. I want to promote a system that uses our country's natural resources for the benefit of all. I want to see our country flourish beyond our wildest imagination. We are capable of doing it if we work together. We may not all agree all of the time, but we can set aside our differences and work towards charting a new course without the infighting, backbiting, and backstabbing. Whether you're a member of the ANC, ALP, LP, or UP, we must channel our support for individual candidates into championing our collective objective, defeating the Weah administration in the 2023 presidential and legislative elections, and ushering in a governance more prepared, more capable, more experienced, more skilled, and more honest men and women. With your help, we can move Liberia to being a better country. I thank you. God bless you and God bless Liberia.
Alexander B. Cummings, leader of the Alternative National Congress.
God bless you, our incoming president. No shaking.
Okay.
No shaking. Real change is here.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again. Share the video. Tonight, we'll be discussing a wide range of issues. And so please help us share the video on your own page and invite your friends. Andrick,
Yeah.
today is Friday, the 4th of February
Mm-hmm.
2022. It's one more
Yes.
year that we'll be going to elections. But
Mm-hmm.
in a space of 1 year, just before we actually queue up at the ballot boxes or in a voting booths,
Mm-hmm.
there will be a lot of things happening,
A lot
you
of
know, even
things.
even on the day of elections, there will be things happening. And some of
Mm-hmm.
those things that will happen, they are actually beyond our normal imaginations as human beings. You know, some would not imagine that it would happen. And so the road is getting rougher and rougher and rougher. And there is a saying that when the going gets tough, then the tough gets going.
Going.
Right. So then recently,
Mm-hmm.
uh, there was a book released by Mr. Asik Va Tupa, who
Mm-hmm.
was the chief of office staff of Mr. Alexander Cummings. And Mr. Tupa got his job just the latest part of last year, 2021. And
Yeah.
Mr. Tupa comes from the CDC originally. And
Mm-hmm.
this book is about, as I've seen the book, I've not read the book, but I've seen the cover and the title, and 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 it appears to be the biography of President George Manuel Weah. And let us not forget, I'm just laying a premise. Let us not forget that one of the right, because there are two writers, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Clark and Ava Tupa. And Ava Tupa comes from the CDC camp. So it is logical enough that anybody will believe that Ava Tupa was close to George Weah. Okay. And so he
Mm-hmm.
may have known things about George Weah that you and I, who are not close to George Weah, do not know, or that that others may not know. So Ava Tupa came up with this, he and his co-author, they
Mm-hmm.
came out with this book, and the book is released on the market. And in that book is a lot of things about Joshua, and this is what drives me to believe that it is a biography of President Weah. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the chapters in that book, which is chapter 1, was was just highlighted. Excerpts from that book was highlighted by Costa, and it went wild. The whole nation became appalled. The whole nation became surprised, and people just couldn't believe what was written in that book. And on this program, we want to take serious exception to anything that looks like we are supporting what was in that book or in chapter 13 or what is written there. No, we are not supporting anything like that. But as long as it affects uh, our individual people, we have to discuss it. And
Mm-hmm.
that part of the book is really denigrating. It talks about President Weah and his wife's private matter, what they do
Mm-hmm.
in the bedroom. And so one will wonder why you think Asifa and his co-host or co-producer will be brave to write that kind of thing about the president, who is Ava Topa's best friend. Why you think prompted them? What really encouraged them? I mean, we just gave our own opinions, right? We are not right. We are not wrong. I'm not right. I'm not wrong.
First of all, I must condemn that book.
Mhm.
And I must say that I'm disappointed in Ava Tuba because this is a man who I have a very high respect for him from the day I monitor some of his activities on Facebook, how he's passionate about Liberia and about the agricultural system and some of the things that I've read about his work. So I kind of put him aside from other Liberian men because knowing for me, I have different view about Liberian men. I'm sorry to say you are also a Liberian man, but I'm talking in general. Liberian men are abusers, they are disrespectful, and I think it's because of the culture of Liberia. we taught them from their early age not to respect the women of Liberia, to treat them in a certain disrespectful way. That is the problem. So
We
first
have
of
not
all, if
learned
you
that in
want,
school anyway. There is no school that we
if
went to learn
you
that
no,
anyway.
you
So
don't go. That's why I'm saying the culture of Liberia. It is a system, a systematic thing that Liberian women are not respected by the men. This is why when you have foreigners coming in the country, they treat the Liberian women just the way how our men treat us. And it is wrong. If we must set the bar and we must make changes, we should first of all talk about the cause. We should first of all say the truth. And this is it. Avatoba just put it out that this is what it is. First of all, why would George Weah of all people discuss his wife with his friends? It is wrong. That's
and so
what he
I was
did.
just about to ask you. I was just about to ask you. You being the only woman on this show, and
Mhm,
also I've been the only man on the show for now. But I was just
mhm.
about to ask you, what do you think encouraged the president, if he did actually explain these things to Asif Atuba or other people, what would encourage somebody to do that? Did he
Because
want to?
this was what he was taught. This come from the background, the culture. The culture of Liberia taught these young boys to discuss women, because what a child see another elder man doing, that's what they do. That is the culture of Liberian society. A man will have a sex with his wife and go out with his friends in a bar or somewhere. They sit every time. They have a special joint. They sit. They discuss about their various wives, how their various wives have sex with them. No respect at all for your wife. No respect at all. No privacy. So
Yeah,
so
but
that's the
this thing,
first thing.
since it happened in a Liberian setting. So when we paint a picture now, it will suit Liberian men. But also, there are some people who say, I've heard even some women say that they say,
Mhm.
when you have two, three women sitting somewhere, most of that conversation will be so they may not discuss bad things about their husbands or their boyfriends, but it will be surrounding their boyfriends or something about them. I don't know how he dresses, what they like about him, the cologne he uses, and so this is like human nature is not really confined to only Liberian men.
It's not human nature. It is it less if we want to find a solution to this disrespect, where you see men like Prophet Key come out and insult women, that's because of the culture. You see any other man advocate, now you see Francis Doe following this footstep of Prophet Key, where you see him insult and curse, Marcos. That is the culture. That's what it is. Liberian men, they are not afraid to insult, disrespect, and even stand up against their own mother and curse the hell out of them.
Yeah, but
That's the
will you want to
culture,
say
the
some
evil
will you want to
culture.
say some Liberian men because
I don't
if we
want to
don't.
say some. That is it. Liberian men, they are all the same. No difference. No difference. I'm telling you today, if we must find a solution, we must talk about the problem. We must be honest and straight to ourselves. It is time that Liberian men learn to respect their mothers and sisters. They learn to respect their wives.
Okay,
Start
and so
discussing.
what has this book taught you, or what
Hmm.
or taught all of us Liberians?
Yeah, it has taught us that you should learn to respect your wife and stop the too many discussing about your private affair, how you have affair with your wife. It is not a normal thing. It's not a normal society that we find ourselves in. Where you see Liberian women just come out, curse each other, curse their friend. You curse my child, I curse your child. You bring the one out, bring the. It is all this sick culture. What kind of society? We need a good leader to set precedent. We need a good leader to show us how it is to live as a honest and committed husband and to live as a honest and committed wife. We need the number one person in the country will set the bar for our nation. will
Yeah, but
stop all of these
somebody,
immoralities.
somebody will argue, or even me, I will argue that there is nobody who will be that perfect. I think training starts from whom? The president of our nation. I mean, I'm not talking about Joshua, but it could be
Mhm,
whoever president. That
mhm,
president is an individual responsible for the day-to-day activities, the protection of lives, and
mhm.
the welfare of the state and whatever. The president will not be in every home to
The
teach.
president is number one role model in the nation.
Yeah, okay. Let me put it this way. Let me ask you one question.
Mhm,
Now, had
mhm.
this thing not come out about Joshua, or had this book not been written about Joshua, and everything just be silent all the time, but all the abuses about women, people raping women and beating and going on. So how will you bring the president in the picture? How will you bring the picture? Because, like you said, yeah, I think it's a cultural orientation, and then and I also disagree with the cultural orientation because
Mhm.
yeah, because it's a lot of people from even traditional background who abuse their wives. I mean, I come from a traditional background. Okay, I've seen men who whip their wives. Okay, especially traditionally, and they say sometimes if you don't beat a woman, I mean you don't like her, and all the kind of funny little beliefs. So
That's what I'm saying. That's the culture. The culture, we are from a nation that, you know, abuse of woman is a common thing. It's a common thing. I grew up in Liberia all my life, except for when there was war, we had to leave Liberia, go to Sierra Leone, and then come back to Liberia after Liberia was peaceful. And then the last one, my mom said, if we have to die, we'll die in our country and die in peace. But we're not going to go anywhere. You understand? So is the culture. I
okay,
grew up in a country where the thing is okay for a married man. You are married and you go and abuse another person. It is okay for a 30 years old man to rape an underage child, 13 years old child, and you say the child go look for me.
yeah, but
It is okay.
this crime of rape is not restricted to Liberia. You know, for me, I let to put it in perspective. The crime of rape, even
Mhm.
abuse of women, is not restricted to Liberia. It's not a
It is
Liberian thing.
rampant to Liberia. It is rampant. Liberia is like the rape is like a culture. Let me tell you now today, 99% of Liberian women have gone through abuse one way or the other. It's not because they don't want to come out, because they don't want to be stigmatized, they don't want to be insulted or name calling. If I master the courage to come out and tell my story to the Liberian people, do you know how many women insulted me? Who do you think you are? Why do you think you are the only one that it happened to? Why couldn't you keep quiet? And I told them, I won't even get hurt about what you say to me because I know that you are also a victim. But it's not because you accept it, so I should accept it. I'm not
Okay,
going to accept it. And I don't care what you say. I don't care the name calling. I'm going to stand up for myself, for the Liberian women, young children, and set that example that it is not okay and it's never going to be okay. And my
okay,
perpetrator will be brought to justice and be dealt with.
okay, right. But since this happened, in fact, prior to because that's why I brought it to your attention earlier on that
Mhm,
if this thing had not happened, nobody was going to know. And I know this book that Ava wrote. If the story inside is true, I know President we did not tell Ava the story yesterday or last week. No, that was long time ago, and nobody knew about it. The same way all
mhm,
of us there, we got some little skeleton in our closet somewhere. As long as
mhm,
we are now undress it or unveil it, nobody will
mhm,
know. But the point I'm trying to make is that there have been a lot of abuses going on, from rape
mhm.
to beating women, to killing women, to
Yes.
maiming people, and all these things. And
Mhm,
women in general in Liberia, some, I mean, I must admit, some have made efforts, some have been advocating, like you, like Yasini, like, several women have been
mhm,
advocating. But some of these things, a new collective effort. We have not seen the might of the women in Liberia. When I mean their might, coming up
mhm.
in mass, coming up in group. But
Yeah.
here is a book that was written. Nobody raped the president wife physically. Nobody inflated physical pain on her.
Yeah.
The story might even be false. But we got people who gathered and said they were
They
traditional
were
women,
protesting. They are hypocrites.
and they went
No, don't say
into the street
Linfa,
to show
Linfa,
themselves. Yeah.
Linfa, call the woman name. Don't be afraid. Call her name, Judy Andy.
No,
Judy
no, yeah,
Andy,
okay, yeah,
Andy
yeah.
is a
Judy Andy,
disgrace. Judy
she's
Andy
being,
is a disgrace to Liberian women. A disgrace. You call yourself a cultural ambassador. You sit in Liberia. You sit in Liberia. Our children have been raped. They are being abused. 2 weeks ago, a child was raped to death. And you never want to come out to talk about the abuse of our children and the killing of our innocent children. Our girls' children, their life have been destroyed before even they reach the age of 10 years. And you never come out one day to talk about it. You said that, and even her, she's even one of the perpetrators, because this is a woman who gave young children to ministers and senators to have sex and bring money to her. These people are sick in our country, and they don't want for us to talk about it. But let me tell all of you, as long as I have come in this field of advocacy, I've dedicated my life to advocacy from the age of 15, when I start to realize the abuse of young Liberian women. And I tell myself, no one will ever abuse me or take any advantage of me. When I had my first rape incident at the age of 17, I become more desperate to fight against the ills in our society. I decided to become a voice to the voiceless, and I don't care. I'm not afraid of anyone. I will
Let me
say the
ask you one
truth.
question. Let me ask you one question. Why do you think that is where I was driving when you came in? Why do you think these women came out? Is it because it concerns the president's wife, or are
Because
they
they are
seeking some
hypocrite,
special?
because they are not nationalistic. They are not nationalistic, they are hypocrite. All they care about is money and themselves. Because there were 50 young little girls under the age of 13. 50, I'm not saying 5, 50 young girls. These girls were raped and infected with HIV and AIDS. The Modemi case, Judy Andy Tappe never came out to protest or say anything or call her traditional leaders to talk about it. Young children have been forced to be circumcised. Young Liberian girls have been forced to be circumcised. You, as a traditional head or ambassador for the cultural of Liberia and tradition, you have never come out to speak about the FGM to end it, how we can end it, how you can serve as a liaison between the government and the traditional leaders, and tell them, as educated as you are, to tell them that, oh no, it is time for us to abolish this evil culture of female genital mutilation. It's time to, one day you have never done it, but you have the guts and infiltrate to come out and talk about a book, a mere book that somebody wrote, where President Weah himself went and discussed about his own wife. You should be ashamed of yourself, because there's no way you should back a president who is irresponsible, will discuss how he have sex with his wife, with his friends, not even one person. You women are sick in that country. You Liberian women, you are too sick, and no one will dare tell you people the truth. We will start telling you people the truth. We will start to tell you people the truth and look you in the face, no matter who you are. Whether you are old or you are young, you are in high position in government, we will tell you the truth. The truth can hurt, but it must be told. You people are just hypocrite. You don't love yourself. You don't love your children. You value other people. Because Claudia is from Jamaica and she's a first lady, you people should be ashamed of yourself. With all of the abuse that President Weah did to our Liberian girls, had children by them, he left them and brought in another national as a first lady. What a shame!
The book,
What a shame!
the book explains the reason why, and you know, every
What
time I
does
think
she?
about
Is that a reason? He's a useless president. That's why I say he's not my president. Because if you can go behind a woman because of sex and say that because of sex they are better than your sister, a Liberian girl, then you are a sick man. You don't deserve to be a president. You just you degrade the most and powerful seat within our country to the dust. I don't blame you.
okay,
I blame the Liberian people who voted you. Those
okay,
young children who saw that, who saw you as a role model. I blame them. And I hope they don't make the same mistake come 2023 next year by the grace of God. What is
yeah.
this?
I remember in one of Charles Taylor's speeches, he made one comment I still remember. He said, "First fool is not a fool,
But
but a
second
second
fool,
fool is a damn fool."
it's a
And you know
damn
the reason.
fool.
You know the reason why. Okay,
Yeah.
let me get throw this in your lap. I'm not talking to all women. I'll talk to you in particular, Andre. You know,
Yes,
because you
I'm
and I
here.
are co-hosts on the show, so I don't want to bring the other women in. Let's say you are a woman. I mean, you are a woman here. Then I can't lie to you. I tell you all the sweet talk. I say, oh, Andre, you know, I'm very good, this and that. Then I fool you. You myself get together. I pregnant you. Then the moment you get pregnant, I run away. I don't come back no more. You don't see me. Then you struggle. You had a baby. The baby beat. Then I can't again fool you. You think you agree? So if you agree the second time, that means I mean, excuse me for
The
the language.
Liberian people, I keep telling you, Linfo, you see
Mhm,
why President Weah is afraid and trying
mhm.
to attack, they are attacking Alexander Cummings is because they have seen the power of the youth. They have seen the youth diverting on the side of Mr. Cummings. So they are afraid. So they are doing everything to strangulate him that he will get out of the race. But President Weah and the so-called agent of the Unity Party and blah, 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 all of them, you guys are just wasting your time because Mr. Cummings is here and he's here to stay. And he is the one that we need. We need our country to move forward. We need a standard of Liberia to regain its respect. We need our women to be protected. We need our people to be empowered, our young children, the educational sector to be improved. And we need hospital, facility, all of these facilities, light. You can't just say you are a president, you only have light around your house and from your house to the junction. The other people around you, you don't care about them. We don't need that kind of president. We need a president that will be a president for all and not for sedition, that will cater to the plight of our people, that will
Okay.
provide some of the basic necessity that our people need. They need jobs to empower themselves, not for you to give them crumbs. Every morning they got to go stand to your gate and be begging you like Natana Magé and Samet Tue after they finish stealing 25 million. We don't need it. We need a president that will empower our people, provide jobs, provide opportunities for the young people to be educated, improve the educational standard because knowledge is power. Give them scholarship to travel abroad and then impact the country. This
Okay.
is the kind of president that we need. And we see that in Mr. Cummings, except where he will let us down. But by God's grace.
For those of you watching us, you can follow us on Facebook. Our Facebook handle is The Bottom Line, and you can view us from there also, and you can leave all of your comments. You can also follow us on YouTube, and better still, to be more interactive, you can call us on the number you see on your screen. It is a WhatsApp number, so you don't have to worry if you're calling from anywhere abroad.
Yeah.
If you're calling from anywhere else beside America, anywhere else in the world, you can dial +47 99 450 882. But if you're calling from the US, only from the US, then you dial 011, not 110 or 001, no, 011 47 99 450 882. That's 011. When you dial the 011, do not upload 47 again. Just 011 47 99 450 882 is a WhatsApp number. Okay, Andre.
Yeah.
We've dealt with the women for long. I know if I give you the opportunity, you'll continue to deal with them and deal with them.
I want to deal with them
because you are saying, woman,
yeah.
you know what is supposed to do and they're not doing. But
Yeah.
let's come to the one of the main issues that came out of this book. when the book was written, I am sure because I look at the timeline of the book. When the book started, they started writing that book in 2019.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been like almost 2-3 years. So when the book was first thought of to be written, I am sure Mr. Alva Tukpa was now with Mr. Cummings at that time, and
Yeah.
so though he fell out with George Weah right after elections, so he was like he was on a fence, he was in a breeze, he was just floating. So he decided to write this book along with Mr. Clark. So logically, Mr. Cummings would not have been in the knowledge about this book. He would not have known anything about this book like me, like you, like any other Liberian. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, but when this book was released, then pressure began to build on Mr. Cummings. Why? Because Alva Tukpa was employed by Mr. Cummings in 2021.
Special assistant,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so he became a close confidant of Mr. Cummings. So when this book was released and this story came up, there was mixed reactions from the public. Some said, "Oh, this is Mr. Cummings who claims to be clean, man." Then he got Asif Vatukwa working with him, and Asif Vatukwa wrote this kind of book. Then even the extremists in the opposition who don't want to see Mr. Cummings, they are now saying that when the book was written, Alva Tukpa gave a copy to Mr. Cummings, and Mr. Cummings read the book. Can you imagine that? And so the question I was trying to ask is, Mr. Cummings asked Mr. Alva Tukpa to resign his post, and some would say under pressure from the public, but I would not term it as pressure from the public. I would rather term it as what? On moral grounds, because Mr. Cummings believes in good standard, good moral standing. So when this thing happened, in as much as he didn't know about it, he just had to let Mr. Alva Tukpa go. The reason being that if he keeps Mr. Tukpa, the detractors will attach Mr. Tukpa to him. And some people are saying, oh yeah, Tukpa, Cummings is also responsible because Alva Tukpa was working with him. And some people say, Cummings knew about the book. So I asked a person, I said, how do you come to the conclusion that Mr. Cummings, because you were working with Mr. Cummings? Okay, so when he read that kind of book, he just got to show it to him. So I asked a guy, you're working with your company, right? If you buy a house, you'll go to your boss man and go show in the house, or you call your boss man to your house. If you buy new clothes, where you'll go, okay, that's that. We all work, okay? When you work, you are individual. Anything that concerns your job, it concerns your boss, okay? But if you do a private thing in your private life, how does it connect to your boss? But what I wanted you to comment on is, do you think Mr. Cummings did the right thing? And if so, why?
Yeah, Mr. Cummings did very, very well. He did what any good leader can do. He's not like JMB, who his so-called Mo Ali was caught in a recording trying to conjure or trying to intimidate a young girl he had slept with as an elderly person, a young girl who is under the age of 18, impregnated her, and then forcing her to abort the pregnancy because for some reason he thought he was married now, so this girl is not supposed to have a child for him. So he's not like JMB. JMB has no standard as a leader. This is why some of us, we are campaigning against him, that he cannot be president of Liberia, because we have to see your track record. So Mr.
Okay.
Cummings, I must commend Mr. Cummings for this act of a leadership role that he
Okay,
played.
I will come back to you. Andre, I will come back to you. You will continue, but we'll have a caller on the line from the US, I guess. So, caller, what's your name and where are you calling from in the US?
Hey, my name is Fred. I'm calling you from the good United States.
Okay. Welcome, Fred.
Okay, my contribution to the discussion about the book is just, I don't think we should even keep talking about this or having conversation about this because this book is very disgraceful, not just for the first lady, but all women, you know. But I see a lot of sycophancy happening in Liberia because this thing affected the first lady. So women march, you know, in the street to demand the resignation of one of the others who was the chief of staff to Cummings. And that's just complete hypocrisy, and we need to do away with that. You know, because there are rape cases in Liberia that even the gender ministry is not taking the leadership role, and even the first lady as a mother, he is not saying anything, but because this thing impact her or is about her, so you see all this condemnation. I agree that the message was bad or is bad, but who do you blame? How the gentleman got to know that this thing happened between Mr. Weir and his wife. It is Mr. Weir. And that just goes to say that we as men, even women, it's just very inappropriate to discuss an intimate relationship between you and your partner to whomever you think you can confide. It's stupid, it's denigrating. I don't think we should be encouraging that too.
But Fred, do you think Mr. Cummings did the right thing by asking Mr. Tukpa to send in his resignation?
Yeah, he had no choice because he had to do that. He couldn't maintain him because it would have damaged his political career. You know, so he had to, ask him to resign. You know, he had no choice. And that is why sometimes the judgment of these leaders come in. In this country here, before you ask somebody to your office or to work for you, do some background check. And from understanding they've both been out a few months before he got appointed. So how well did he know Mr. Kuma? And that is where I have a problem with Cummings. That he tried to bring all these people, and he said he wanted to be a change agent, but then he takes all these people from other political parties or people that have prior loyalty to other candidates and bring them in his camp. So, you know, that's complete hypocrisy for his message.
Yeah, but Fred, I think in politics, people are not confined to one camp. You can be in this camp today when you see that your party or your political leader is not performing the way you want to. That does not bind you. You cannot say, "Well, I'll be there because I'm in this party." So you can move to a better place. It's like, like we who are humans, you know, you live here and you know things are not going well with you. You live in the States. Okay, I used to live in Houston, okay, and then I decided to move to Norway, and I'm planning to go back to Houston or maybe somewhere in the US. So anybody can move, and you move for better conditions and whatever. So we don't want to blame Mr. Cummings for politicians who are leaving their party because their party is not performing to their expectations, and then come to him. Will you blame him for that?
Well, let us look at it from this way. You know why the Liberian politics is so polarizing and it is dirty? Because all these people don't have loyalty, they don't have political ideology. They are just opportunists roaming around. They go anywhere where they see little bit of opportunity. And that's what makes it bad. And these kind of people need to be examined. We don't say don't recruit people. You know, every Liberian have the right to affiliate with whomever they want. But because politicians in Liberia don't have political ideology to go anywhere, you know, where they see gravy or where they see opportunity that this candidate is going to win. That's where they go. And we need to do away with that. You know, that's what I'm speaking about.
Yeah, but remember, Fred, that in elections in Liberia, the number counts as well. So if I come from party A to go to party B, and party B actually needs me, I'm not sure party B is going to tell me to go back because you know, I'm a grievance seeker or whatever. The number counts.
And what that also shows, Mr. Lynn, go ahead. It shows that, let's say, for example, if I'm working with you, and for certain reason I leave you and go to the sister that is on the partner with you today. I mean, how is she going to trust me? And how is she going to really feel confident in me? Because I was just with you. And because of certain things, I didn't see my way clear and I just migrated for her. And, you know, these kind of people, you know, we need to be the one with them because I don't know what Mr. Kuhlman saw in Alpha, but, you know, here he is. He had no choice. I mean, he did the right thing because he was under pressure, you know, to fire him. He had no choice, but he had to do it. But those are things you need to examine. Even currently, the people that are in his camp that are closely working with him, you need to examine that and take a deeper look who all they want to be associated with him. Because if he's going to be a change message, I mean, a candidate, and I don't even know what his power for winning the presidency, but that's a different topic. But you have to examine people he brings within his camp, those close to him that make important, helping to make important decisions. Those are people he needs to. I'm not talking about voters in general. You know, I'm talking about people who he brings in within his inner circle. You need to examine those kind of people.
Andre, you got any question for Fred?
The thing is, you cannot hold Mr. Cummings responsible for another man. Foolishness. So I don't have question for him because everyone
Okay,
is entitled to their
I'll
opinion.
only Jamel just join in Fred. So we are 3 on the panel now. Jamel, do you hear us well? Jamel, I think you are muted.
Yes, I do. I do understand. I do follow you very well.
Okay, do you have anything that you want to ask Fred or anything that he said you want to comment on?
Yeah, I just came in. I was just hearing that what I heard was Mr. Kuhlman need to examine the people that are around him that is in the camp, but I don't know what the source of the question. So probably I would like to listen in. If he stay on, I want to ask him a question.
Okay, Fred. There is this one thing that I want to ask you. If Mr. Cummings, are you in a camp? Are you in a camp that believes that Mr. Cummings actually knew about this book before its publication? Or
really, Mr. Webb, I heard about that book like many other people that saw the post on Facebook. That's how I heard about it. You know, but according to what we've been hearing, that the book been around for what a while, and because in Liberia people don't read, so they don't really want deep into it. Because I'm sure from what we're hearing that the book was even given the comments. I don't know how much time it took to read it. You know, but that is something to be discussed. I don't know the true nature of this story. But our people don't read, you know, and what you are broadcasting today, you know, people are not even going to, I mean, how many people listen to internet radio? What you say? It's a good platform to, but how much is this message? Because even the national radio station, LBS, they are partisan radio station, they just work for the government. They don't air news of other political actors in the country. So that makes it, you work in Liberia, you work with LBS people.
yeah,
It's quite different from what you have those days. What you have today is quite different. You know, it's quite different. It's completely under the control of government. Even prior administration was like that, but there was some diversity that other people would air their view, but today it's not like that. So it's just a bad system. Our Liberian political system is really bad, and we all need to. I don't care whoever, but we all need to work together and help move our country from where it is. Because
okay, you sound good. You made a good point right there that we all need to work together and move the country forward. So Mr. Cummings has consistently said that he wants to see a better Liberia. Do you have any advice that you could give him? You may not be in his camp, but as a Liberian who wants to see a better Liberia, do you have any advice that you think you can give Mr. Cummings that can help to better Liberia for every one of us?
You know, the message of change is easy to say, like the CDC said that they were the agent of change for how many years? They insulted Madam Celine, and they came over there, they recycle the people. The problem about Liberia is changing Liberia is not just the message. It's not one person that can do it, it's half of one person. Yes, the leader can make a big difference, but it will require a holistic approach from the family, from the teaching, classroom, everywhere. Because our government system, the way it is set up, the president has so much power that in how decisions, even how the legislature and the judiciary work. So you got to have somebody over there who have the guts to say, this one, I'm not going to do it. Mr. Cummings don't have the political experience. That's his check. I mean, he are not working government. So to go in there and say he can make a change, it's going to be very difficult for him. That's why, he continues to use a lot of family blood. It's a challenge for him.
Okay, you want to open up Pandora box more. Fred, I will leave this one right here, and then you will come back next time again, and we can discuss whether Mr. Cummings does not have that political gravitas, that political experience to make a change. Because I believe you live in America, those of us that live in the West, I believe that the companies, the big companies, for example, one of which Mr. Cummings worked for, they are even more structured and more what can I say, more to the point than our government. Those companies, their employees go to work on time, their managers make very good decisions. But look at our Liberian government, the president last at home, he makes music, but the government still runs. So I don't think it's going to take any big task for Mr. Cummings to fix that. But like I said, we'll bring that topic on one time, next time, and then
before you let you go, I just had a question for the brother. It's a Fred. With regard to if you can lay out what he means by political experience, so we can understand where he's coming from before we kind of preempt his question. I mean, his statement. What does he mean by political experience? That is a requisite to run a government. If you can outline that for us.
You got a question?
No. Linford, I didn't really hear him. Can you?
Okay. Okay.
I was saying that what is the what if you say, can you lay out the political experience, the political experience, the recipe as a political experience that allow a man like Cummings to run a country, or that he can tell her from his point of view, her perspective, which is a political experience. It's a relative, it could be relative. So you tell her what he means by political experience that allows that Mr. Cummings should have before they run the government of Liberia.
Yeah, what political experience are you talking about? Can you outline some of them that Mr. Cummings will need as a prerequisite to run the government?
I don't think we are working in the public sector, and you will agree with me that you can have the academic experience, but if you go to the job, you don't have the experience, you struggle. That means you're going to be learning on the job. So obviously, you're going to be learning the governance system. He worked in the West. I mean, he's working with Coca-Cola, but where you don't even see the money, you just hand people through. It's quite different from an African setting where you're going to be competing with counties. Competing with senators and representatives. So it's going to be a challenge for him. He don't have that experience. I think you should acknowledge that.
Fred, I told you you are trying to open up Pandora box because when you incriminating yourself so many ways. That number one, Cummings had not worked in the public sector. I don't know what you call public sector. The private sector is even more public than anywhere else because you got people from diverse background coming to work in the private sector, and you manage those people. Okay, and let me tell you. In a government, you got ministers, okay? The president doesn't go to make decisions for the Ministry of Public Works. No, they only report to him based on policy that they have drafted, okay? But I will tell you that in the public sector, or in the private sector for that matter, okay? If you as a manager, if you make one small mistake, it will run down through the entire supply line, okay? So say Coca-Cola was supposed to introduce new project or new product on the market, and then Mr. Cummings goes and make one small mistake and sign different thing, or maybe renege on signing or do something else. Coca-Cola worldwide will feel the effect. You remember Toyota a few years back, okay? They have problem with one of their products, I think Prius or one of those cars, and they have to withdraw millions of cars that they have sold and use the money already. So the private sector is even hard to run than government. I just gave you a good example. Your president.
Let me come in to this color. This is a unity partisan person here talking. So let me put this argument to a rest. This thing that you people always saying that Mr. Cummings do not have a public sector experience. These are all deception. So what can you say about those bankers who have worked in the private sector and they were employed during President Salif's regime, they were employed within government. Are you saying that because they work in the private sector, so they were not eligible to be investment chairman, to be general auditing commission boss, to be, the list go on and on. These are all private sector individuals. They didn't work in government, but because of their experience, their educational background, they were brought within the government of Madam Salif to work as ministers, head of various agencies. So what kind of deception? You see, this is one of the reasons why I decided not to support the Unity Party, because they lie, they do all kinds of nonsense propaganda. You don't do like that. If you want to run politics, you want to get into competition, get into the competition with truth and honesty.
Are you asking him?
I'm not asking him. I'm telling him now. I'm putting into that argument.
No,
that,
listen.
Okay.
Yeah, what happened here? He asked a point. He made a point, and we asked him to lay out. We need to listen to him. I agree with you too. What is Sister Atre? The brother is making a point that we need to understand and tell him where he holds as experience.
Oh, someone is saying this is a precedent. Say that we are talking about. What kind of?
Listen. What happened here is like that's not what he's saying. That's been a repeated statement all around the country, that all around the world, that Mr. Comey is not qualified for political experience. He doesn't have the political requisite political experience. We Limper has put it clear that where he holds it, and he does qualify to run as a president of the country. I mean, he's making a point. So what the problem here is, we need to let him know that where Mr. Comey stands as a qualified person to run our country. Because if you look at it, let's look at Helen. Before Ellen became minister, came to serve the country, she worked more in a more structured leadership than anywhere. She worked outside of the country. When she worked with the bank, she was a minister of finance for some time.
Yes.
No, she was a minister of finance for some time in the past government.
But before she became a minister of finance, she had a private sector experience, which is banking. She was a banker who worked outside of the country with international bank. She never had any experience in government until she was asked to serve as a finance minister, which of course she did not stay long on that position. She resigned because of her saying that it was nepotism and favoritism and all kinds of things. And she went back to the private sector to continue her work.
Yeah, okay. If it's the first day on.
Yeah, Fred is here. Fred, you there?
Yeah, I'm listening because I don't think they are putting up an argument. Like my sister just came. I think she probably just came and said a lot of things that, as a panelist, I don't expect you to say that I'm not a Unity Party partisan. So let me get that clearly.
You can deny for all you care, but I know you're a Unity partisan.
Hold on. According to your show, so give me a chance. I mean, we should not elevate our blood pressure here for nothing. We all know different angles. You understand? So it's nothing to go be fighting by, listen. That's why I took the time, you did both of you talk, and so give me the chance, let me talk. You do agree with me that public sector is quite different from private sector, all right?
What is that difference?
The difference.
Yeah, let him tell us what's the difference.
Working for government is quite different from working in the private sector. You work in the private sector, you work for shareholders. You work for people to make profit. You work in public service, you work for the people, it's not for profit.
And which is, okay, Fred, let's make it interactive. In the two scenarios, which is more risky? You're working to make profit. If you make one mistake, your company loses a lot. Government, you can stay home, Georgia can make music, the government is not losing, government is going around crediting. People not taking pay, but still life going on. The government stay the same. The government is not breaking down. But private sector manager doesn't go to work. He makes some big mistake. The whole company breaks down. So which one is most difficult to run?
And he will be sacked. He will be sacked because you need to give a result.
Let me explain.
I mean, if you give me a chance to answer instead of go back and forth, according to the show, it depends where you're talking about, in which country. Liberia is quite a different country.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Hold on, let me finish.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Uh-huh.
wow.
You can delegate. So the
Gabon is a different country.
You talk about Madame Celine. Madame Celine was doing a professional job in the Ministry of Finance. She was not even the minister. I think she was deputy minister for something. So she was not a minister proper. You know. So even though she worked in government, so when she went to the presidency, she had that experience that she worked in government. You know, but Cummings have never worked in public sector experience, so that's a disadvantage, right? I'm not saying he don't have the academic credentials to be president, but he will be learning at a job. And if you come from college, you don't have the experience, you got to team you up for manager to train you to give you the skills.
But Fred,
you need
Fred,
to better yourself on
Fred,
your job.
Fred, if I'm, let me ask you
James,
one more question, Fred. Let me ask you one more question. What is that training that is required to be a president in your view?
Go in there, if you have government work, have the legislature work, understand how to build this process. You know, that public service experience is very important. You know?
Okay. So what would you say? What would you say about people like Donald Trump, who came from the business world and he went straight to become president, even though,
Trump?
Yeah, Trump.
That's why he struggled. Tell me how many you lived in the U.S. before you move abroad. Tell me how many people have come from the business community and became president and became successful. I know Carter was one of them. He was not successful. He went there one time, the same thing Trump. Most of the people that became president of the United States and became successful, they either came from the legislature or they were governor of a state.
George Washington was a businessman. I think they have farm or something. He was a businessman.
I have to research that, but he might have governmental experience. I can tell you that for sure.
Okay, but let me ask you the other question. We'll let you go soon, but let me ask you this question. What about military people who take over and they become successful presidents?
Well, if you are in the military, when you go to, I don't know about Liberia or whatever, but when you go in the military, they train you because you work for the government. So that's government service. You work in the
But
government.
man, let's forget about other country. Let's come to Liberia. Our own Samuel Keto, even successful more than George we are.
Yeah, because Samuel Keto work in government. You know how the government.
Where did he work in government? In the barracks?
Yeah.
But man, Fred, you won't waste my time. Fred, move from there. You won't waste my time.
Fred, you got that wrong now. I think you need to go and check the history right now.
You want spam my Friday?
No, wait. We want to get. Look. Let me.
He
Yeah.
had a lot of shortcomings, you know, and he was smart. He learned on the job. He was smart. He learned on the job.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's not smarter than Cummings though. But I know.
Linford, can I speak to brother Fred, the brother, before he goes up, please?
Yeah, Fred. I know why he's hearing Jamel well, but he wants to talk. He wants to ask you something.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Fred, I hope you got me loud and clear. Are you hearing me? Okay, it's all right. It's all right. Then it's not going to be interactive. It's all right. Go on, because he doesn't hear me.
Okay, so Jamel said that he can stay here. You will ask another time. But Fred, thank you for being on the show. Thanks a lot, and we appreciate your comments and your advice to Mr. Cummings, and probably Mr. Cummings will start to do some courses in the presidency so that he can be qualified.
You don't have to do courses. You have the education. You just need to go there and get the practical experience.
So how do you expect him to go there? The man want to go there and say he's not qualified.
No, we'll give him.
I think you took the whole conversation.
No, he didn't say that.
You don't have the experience.
Yeah, so but he said he should go there. So how you expect him to go there when he doesn't have the experience?
I can detect to him what you want to do, but where he struggled.
No,
you know, and you will see that manifested during the campaign if you want a stumbling block.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, thanks a lot. And I think this does not go to Mr. Cummings. It goes to all of the other politicians who have never become president before or become anything in the government before. Thanks a lot, Fred, and we appreciate your coming, and we hope that you can always come. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a program, The Bottom Line, and we are here. Jamel Kamara is in the UK, Antrik is in Belgium. I'm here in Norway. My name is Linford Goa. And tonight we've been discussing the book. You know, I always like to call it the book. And we look at the reaction of Liberian women. Jamel, just before you came, the reaction of Liberian women who have been very idle, some of whom have been very idle in the face of gruesome activities against women in Liberia. None of them had ever stepped out to say anything, but because this book, which did not physically harm the president's wife, it was just a description which did not inflict any wounds on her. They grouped themselves and they were all over the place wailing and crying and doing a lot of things. But we've dealt with that, and then we came to the Cummings Assefa issue. Whether it was morally correct or he did it under pressure. Since you just came, I don't know if you have anything to chip in there.
Yeah, thank you, Linford. Thank you for having me. Quickly, with the issue of women wailing and crying about the situation in Liberia, politically, we all look at it like, you know, the situation in Liberia right now, the situation, we all can take advantage of political situation. What's happening with Ava Tokpa? We know very well, like the community come from, the culture come from, the descriptions in the book. Probably I read a few lines in the book. It's not something decent we're going to have in Liberia. People will say that the attitude was not criminal, but it was not decent to their community. The background come from. That's one. So that's the reason he got a lot of condemnation about the book. And women are now taking the over. You will say they're going to the extreme to make it known. But you know, the other side had the flip side. I always say that. The flip side to it is that in making Ava and Emmanuel Clark much more popular and making that book a big bestseller. That's why they don't know. And another thing is like Sister Antrik on the show tonight, she's been one of the persons who's talking about rape from the start of the program, the show we started. And our sister, I know Yasini always talk about women being raped. And nobody heard these voices. Today, the description, this guy is a writer, he's a publisher. He published the graphic description from the president, the now president. That's why he wrote in the book. That's what he did. And he had his sources. I mean, we all believe that he did it. That's why they couldn't arrest him. He had to avoid. I can tell you that Mr. Whatever who asked him, he may have some physical evidence, like video or recording. Audio recording. He's not. That guy's not a stupid guy. He know what he was doing. And if you read I think the forward or introductory part of the book, it says that we interview 180 people that are the ex-wife, former girlfriend, relatives of the president. So this president can hold him. I mean, we don't want to be insensitive with the women issue. Well, you saw it last time with the video of this guy all over the place. Another person I want to tell you something. We tend to forget quick. It's this guy called Prophet Key or whatever. This guy is there insulting day and night. Yeah. Women, causing the president's wife, mother every day. That's the mother, and the graphic course you can think about.
That is a culture. The culture.
He's been welcome. He got a lot of followers.
Oh yeah, women send him money,
and they send him money.
The one that support.
So
like
sister would say, it's a kind of deception or a hypocrisy, or I don't know what you call it. Then when we are all crying foul, when Ava Tokpa described, he was quoting somebody. Here is a co-publisher. We're quoting the president. Yeah, he was quoting the president. But what he don't know, they're making a young man popular. They're making the book a bestseller. It's nothing criminal here.
Tomorrow they put my head $30.
Yeah, I'm not saying here that the description was fair. It was not from the background we come from. It's not acceptable. You don't talk like that as a woman, somebody. We're not allowed. We're not brought up to be talking to women like that. Whatever they say, if you should have it published in a way or polished in a way that people understand the lines. I'll bring you to a situation. There's a guy called the late Dr. Stephen Ellis. Probably heard of me. He wrote a book called The State of Anarchy. I have a copy here. It was written about what happened in Liberia during the course of the height of the Civil War. And he described the late, what's his guy name? From these guys, the late former defense minister of NPF. What's his name again?
Daniel
No, Tom Wowiyo. Tom, when you and other people, what happened in that book? He said about the ritualistic, the blood, they drank blood of people to pray over. They did a lot of things. If you did read that book, it's graphic. It's not talking about women, how women look like. But if you read that book, Taylor sued him in the UK. He did not succeed. They threw the case out of court because it was published. He had the sources. So I'm going back to Prophet Key issue and other things. People hailing Prophet Key as a star, as a best speaker, as a best person. Why are they not talking about that? Why? I don't know. I'll turn off.
Prophet Key is now vying for senatorial post in Ima County.
People saying money.
All over the place.
People saying money. And this guy is daily causing mothers. I mean, women, describing women. Why women are not turning
But me, I can say everyone has their time.
So this
time is going to come.
This is a service.
Anybody deal with.
Yeah, this is the thing we need to talk about. We talk about what we also talk about Alva Tokpa attitude, which was he was right. He's a messenger. We should not shoot the messenger. But the way he presented the message was not decent. That's my point. And the second thing is, we should also, if you have to go after Aziva Tokpa and Emmanuel Clark, we should go after Prophet Key and other people that are insulting like Costa. The recent thing he parading the poor little girl picture on something about this guy Mo Ali and stuff. Like you saw it in the video. I mean, you're talking about all the kind of words.
That was where I came in. The moment when Costa lifted that part of the book, I was one of those who posted right on it immediately. Okay, that he does not inch up to any moral standing to condemn Alva Tokpa. First and foremost, he has been all over the place. He has abused everybody. He has abused the very president and his wife. Okay,
but I don't think I want to take you back to the president. You know, we all taking it to Alva Tokpa, Emmanuel Clark, and Prophet Key. And look, George Weah need to be brought to face the drum.
Yes,
that's the fact. We're trying to turn our back to him. I don't know why he's just escaping.
No, we're not. For me, I'm not turning my back.
He's escaping this.
Because he should be held responsible.
How will you describe as a grown person? But this is not the Western world. How will you describe the life of your life behind a closed door between your wife to a person to right? Even in a joke, you don't discuss those things from the community, from the background we come from. You don't discuss your bedroom to anybody. If it should be a close friend, we don't like. He knew that the guy was going to publish a book. It's not something he would like. The way he did not extract information or like secretly record him and put in the book. No, he went around collecting information.
He's a foolish man.
So the president should be brought to face the issue of the Liberian people. That he should be asked why he insulting Liberian people. The guy brought the information out. This is how your president behave. It's not the attitude of Mr. Tokpa or Mr. Clark. So we missing a point. That's why I'm saying we're missing a point. Josh, we need to face the drum.
Again,
the music.
You're making a very good point, Jamel. Because like I told Andre before, because people say the leader should set example, but what if this book had not come out? People will be looking at Josh. We are there to be some good, person. Now, I pity the part of the book or that particular chapter where it applies to Liberian women. But if the guy had just discussed his own wife, I would not care. I mean, it was also, and let me say this, let me go on record for saying this. It was good that Aziva and Emmanuel Clark wrote that book.
About it,
nobody would try, no president would try it. No, let me tell you, what if it were me? If it were me, who would care about me? Nobody would care. Okay?
I will tell you what happened now in the UK. If you just was I think Minister of Health during the height of the COVID. During the COVID, what he did in the room, he hawked or he cased, I think his secretary, which is his girlfriend or a partner. He asked to resign. Just the case.
Yes,
that's another thing. And that's nothing, even just a case, because he shouldn't have done that. Had the COVID. He breached COVID law. Now you follow the news right now in the UK. What's happening when everybody was being put behind closed door in terms of COVID restriction? The prime minister having party, you're having birthday party, and now there's a drum behind, beating the drum to resign, just to resign. While other people were not able to have funeral for their dead loved ones, he will enjoy himself. So that's a disrespect to the people. And this guy insulted. He told his writer, this is what he told about his wife and how he treated Liberian ladies. This is why he treated them. So this guy should be brought to answer. This is the House of Parliament.
I would have thought the ladies will now go put pressure on the House
Not
of
even the lady.
Representatives.
Instead of them
listen.
protesting against Isaac Toba, they should have been protesting against the #1 man in the country and trying to bring him
Forget
to
about the
answer
women.
questions to them.
Actually,
Why
forget
do
the-
we have
yeah.
to discuss them in that manner, saying that Liberian women are all useless, they are like this, they are like that? That's a disgrace to our mothers. Then they turn around and supported him. What kind of stupid
And
women are these?
another thing, we also think that we're looking at the House of Legislature. The issue, ask Mr. Do we have to come to them and tell them, explain to why he has to say that to the women when they're holding the poll took by
Do
Clark
they even have the balls
That's
to
what we're
ask
saying.
Leah?
And another point, the brother Fred was talking about, Mr. Cummings aware. I think he said that, or he's aware of the book. I'll tell you something. I can't remember the year before the World Cup in South Africa. Joshua came to Holland, and I was one of the journalists invited to the program. He signed a book that was published in Dutch. He didn't read that book. He did not read that book. So I'm telling you about, he signed a book. He attended books. Probably what he did, the signing section, he was autographing. A lot of my Liberian friends were there. I was there too. It was some year. He was there for like 20 minutes to speak. George was there. He came to bring to Amsterdam. I mean, not Amsterdam, it was Den Haag. They call it the Den Haag to speak about 20 minutes about the World Cup in South Africa. Being a football legend from Africa, legend. What would be a opinion? He was there. After that, there's a Dutch guy who published a book in his name. This book was totally in Dutch. It was not English. If you did read Dutch, you understand like a lot of stuff was said about him. I mean, it's not about a private life, but something like the opposite. If you write a book, you have to have some part that was touching, some part that he was not successful at. And you should have read that book. So people read, he read that book, he signed that book, he did not read that book. I think he did not read that. I can assure you he did not read that book. He autographed that book to a lot of people, and a lot of people took that book away. He did not even know what was in that book. So telling me Mr. Comey is going to this guy book launcher, you can go to a book launcher, you can read the forward of the book and inside. If you look at that book, 80% of that book praise George Weah, then even say something against him. So I don't know what they are saying. If you did read that book, it's about the success of George Weah's story.
The part I don't understand, people blaming Mr. Cummings in the whole thing is that Asif Vatuba is a grown-up man that worked with Mr. Cummings for money, and Cummings didn't have anything to do with his private life. Okay, so that's why I gave the example. So if I work with you, Jamel, and I buy a new car, I should bring it to you. Or if I buy a shoe to wear, I should bring it to you and say, "Oh, I bought shoes." No, that's my private thing. I can't. The moment I leave office and come home, I'm individual.
All the same Linford, he was Ivan was wrong for even writing that book, and the manner in which he wrote those lines. It was completely wrong. As a man of moral standard, it's unacceptable. He should have never done it. Even if a stupid man and a foolish man like George Weah say those kind of things to him, there's a way you can paraphrase those things and not to say it like the way he said it. It is totally wrong. And honestly, it's not a laughing matter. He has destroyed himself also.
Let me tell you, we live in a democratic nation. You see,
it's not about democracy. It's about the way
in America, when Donald Trump became president, you saw what they did with Melania Trump. They had a naked picture. They drew all kinds of things. I mean, it's left with Weah to go and sue. But we do.
But this is not about suing. Now we are talking about the individual.
The moral part is there. Let me tell you one thing. We live in a democratic society. You can't force morality on somebody. You can't tell me how to live. You can't tell me what to do.
But he destroyed himself.
Now he's very repetitive. He's very repetitive.
Ivan has also destroyed himself for nothing.
Yes.
You shouldn't have put George Weah in that manner in a book. You shouldn't have done it.
This is where democracy comes into play, where the freedom of speech, the freedom of action. When you do what you want to do, you are free to do it, but you will be responsible for what you do. Now
the consequence. He is responsible for it. That's what I'm
nobody
saying.
can tell you what to do. Nobody can decide.
Let me say something. Antrick, I agree. I got a point. You're making a point, but let me tell you something. There are a lot of ways people can get popular. I'm telling you something. What you don't know right now is before that, I can assure you the 100%, before that book was finally launched, George Weah was aware of it.
Yeah,
You
he knew.
were aware. If you knew that it was something, like stop that book being published. He knew.
The
He copied.
mentor you were making Murad, but they come in Red Bull.
He knew. He read that book. They will give you a copy. Before you do anything like that, you'll give you a copy to read the book to understand. I'm saying, let's leave Paul Ivan Topa and Emmanuel Clark alone out of this. The House of Legislation need to bring George Weah out to face the music, asking why you have to describe Liberian women like that. Why you have to say as a president? He's a grown up. In our culture, we never made that.
Jamel,
Somebody
I
have
want to disagree.
done anything more than what
No,
he did.
no. Listen, guys, I'm not on the same page with you people.
Go on. Yeah, that's
the other. We talk about the president who discussed his wife inappropriately. It was wrong, and we talk about those foolish Liberian women who come out to defend President Weah and go on the street to protest, whereas there are rape issues that have been going on, and they do not have the guts to come out and stand up against those perpetrators to be persecuted.
They still did.
We also, yeah, and we also talk, and I'm also talking about the so-called and disrespectful, untrained child called Costa, who is always in the act of insulting women, and now he coming to bring his hypocritical self talking about morals. And now I'm coming to Ivan Topa now to talk about him, that looking at the kind of man that he is, well respected in our society, to allow himself to stood that low, to describe a Liberian woman, to describe his own sister.
No, he didn't describe. He wrote it.
He is the author. He is the author of the book. He shouldn't have wrote it in that manner.
If I tell you, go and tell Jamel that my hair hurting, what do you tell him?
No, he is a professional.
But if I tell you, go and tell Jamel my hair is hurting,
everything you do, you gotta be professional. Everything you do in the Western world, when the people are learning to be a writer, when they are learning to be a journalist, when they are learning to be whatever, they do it to their best. They do it.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. They do it to their best, and they do it professionally. Professionalism comes first in everything. It was wrong, and he has destroyed himself. He has destroyed himself. You will not know, but what I'm saying, I want to be on the record for it today. He has destroyed himself. He didn't destroy anybody, but he destroyed himself. The so-called Weah, it will haunt him for the rest of his life. His children are there. His grandchildren will come up and they will see this kind of nonsense that he did.
Weah doesn't care.
Weah will care one day. People
listen,
but they will care one day.
How does that book even affect Weah, who is playing his football and getting his money?
How will not affect him? How it will not affect him? You don't even know.
How?
Let me be on record. You will see it in the future.
Andre, I mean, we're all making a point here. She's making a point, but she's not happy.
I agree.
We need to understand that. We need to understand that it was a sensitive issue here to discuss. And like I said it from the start, when we look at Liberian setting, where we shouldn't, this is not in the West, where pornography or stuff like that. We don't, why I say that pornography is not accepted, it's indecent in our publications in Liberia. I mean, I do understand what Patrick is saying. Why is that we're not allowed for the public pornography magazines and our story to be written in Liberia? It's not allowed on our TV on our TV channels. Here in Europe and in the Western world, at certain part of the night, you want 18 from 7 o'clock. You can have a soft pornography erotic vision on television at 8 o'clock. You can have that, but that's a different society. So looking at it from our setting, I'm saying what she's saying, she makes a lot of sense. If you look at from, she makes a lot of sense.
Context.
That's why we're talking from. We are not talking like Westerners. We're speaking like we shouldn't be saying something like you should polish it.
We are now Westerners.
That's what you're saying. Africans. But what we want to let you know here also.
And this man had No.
I wanted to divert the conversation from
I have so much respect for Ivan to see him write that kind of thing.
Have you read the book? Have you read the book, Antrik?
I haven't read any book, and I don't think I can even read it. I'm not going to read it.
Everybody's interested in that chapter 13.
I'm not interested. Anything that degrade and bring disrespect to Liberian women, you will never see me in it. I don't care. I don't even want to to know about what impact do George Weah life has on the Liberian people before I should read about his so-called nonsense book after
Okay.
stealing and building mansion on the blood and sweat of the Liberian people. It make
Probably,
no use.
probably also to let you know, sorry, before I let you come, before you, probably Mr. Clark and Mr. Tokpa may have known that this portion, the chapter 13, will have been a big case for them. So they knew they're going to be a hot case. Someone are reading some of the text or some post online saying that Alva Tokpa is a smart dude. He may have made that case, made himself to go across the country, want to cross around. He was not even going out of the country for a passport. He just got their attention so they can get some attention from Tehi Costa to put the show up. Then he go at the airport, that you run out of the country, they catch you, they make some news, they make money. And now what's happening now? No, honestly speaking, the book is selling. It's selling. I don't know what is the bestseller, African one of the bestsellers right now, but it's selling.
They begin a bestseller. I think as of this morning, they
no, who's buying it? Only Liberians in the abroad are buying it, because Liberians out there, only few of them can afford to buy the book right now. But Liberians outside are buying the book because of that. Let me tell you, my sister, something. You know, there's a magazine. There's two things I'll tell you right now. There's a newspaper in the UK. I forgot the name. I think the Mirror or something. I think the Mirror. There's a page there called page 3. When you turn a page out, there's a naked woman standing in there. Whether you like it or not, that's why. That's the hot selling newspaper in this country. People buy it because of that page 3. When you open it, you will see a nude woman standing there on these. That's the lie. That particular place where we're talking about, it may be disgraceful to Liberian lady, which we are very sorry for. But those guys knew what they were writing. You knew what they were writing. Emmanuel Clark knew what they were writing. They knew the consequences. Ava knew what the consequences were going to be like. Yeah. So it's nothing hidden. They know. And George Weah was aware before the book was launched. Before the book was launched.
Something you said earlier on, I want to believe is that those guys, they have living witness, either recording or video.
Why is it George Weah said let him go? Because he can't hold him. He can't hold him.
He can't hold him. They'll present it.
I'll tell you something about the State of Anarchy. When State of Anarchy, when Stephen Ellis wrote that book about that drinking of blood, Taylor said, we didn't drink blood. You lying on me. I'm taking to court. He hired a lawyer in the UK, and there was no enough evidence, so they threw the case out of court. That was an accusation on Taylor, right? But this one said he quoted the sources, and Weah himself also made mention. So where are we coming from? We should take the case to Weah's doorstep, not to Mr. Alva Tokpa doorstep.
No, I'm not taking case to Ivan doorstep because there is no case. I am saying in regards to his personality that he shouldn't have wrote in that manner. He shouldn't have wrote those statements in that manner, looking at the kind of person he is. Some people see him. Most people see him as a role model. What can you say to those who see you as a role model? What kind of defense or what kind of justification are you going to give to those young ones who saw him yesterday and say, he could be maybe possibly a vice president or some future, prospect tomorrow. But he just destroyed everything.
You are making a very good point.
This man has destroyed himself.
I agree. You are making a good point in the Nigerian cultural setting. So we agree to it. Now, Jamel lives in the UK. I lived in the UK for 4 years. One day in Southampton is where I studied. We were in class, and our school is located right on the road on one of the streets. And then across the street is the biggest park. Then on the other side of the park is a main street, the high street, as we call it in the UK. And this park is big. And we're in the classroom. We were in the library. We were all involved in some books. My attention not even anywhere. Then my Nigerian friend came. He said, "Okay, look outside." I said, "What?" He said, "Look outside." When I looked at what I saw, I don't know whether this can happen to other people too. Like something that just happened to you. I can't for 1 second. I can't be to myself. Be like I'm out. So when I turned around, what I saw, almost 7 to 800,000, 7 to 1,000 people running naked. Everybody running naked. The new marathon. Young, old, small, baby, all kind of people. Everybody naked running. So I was like, when I turned around and looked in the park, I got shocked. It took me 2-3 seconds to know that I was still real. I said, "But what's going on?" He said, "Oh, but you didn't hear it on the radio this morning. that there will be a nude marathon. Trust me, Andre, we all went down to the road to look at the people. I mean, for me, it was. This is something I know cannot happen in Liberia. Even for women to wear swimming training in Liberia, it was difficult. And then now it's happening. Then all of a sudden, you go see a group of almost 1,000 naked people running. Oh man, I mean, so these things can happen, but our setting does not permit these kind of things to happen. Okay,
and I have a breaking news. I have a
Mhm.
breaking news. A
What is that?
breaking news. I'm happy that finally Liberian women, you will be respected once more. And that breaking news, I want people to share the video, share it, so that
What's the breaking news?
1,000 people can watch this video and then take it to George Weah and his girlfriend Piso Ta.
What's the
And that
breaking news?
so-called vice president.
Yeah, what is the news?
His
We're
other
running out of time.
second
We are
girlfriend.
running out of time badly.
I'll give you a breaking news. Give for the newsroom. Go on. You're on.
We don't Andre Jallo for the breaking news.
Breaking news. Sanity
Oh,
is
yes.
going to be restored to Liberia. The government of Liberia have long been playing with the rights of Liberian women and children. Children are being abused. Children are being taken advantage of. The president have been abusing female employees just to give them job. PISOTA is not functioning. The gender ministry is a dead ministry. Our children are being raped on a daily basis, killed, and there is no justice. But justice is coming to Liberia. Justice is coming to Liberia, and I am fortunate.
When?
I am fortunate to be selected as one of the panelists on an international discussion with regards to Liberian young women that have been raped, abused, some of whom have been dead, and they cannot have justice. I've been selected to be one of the panelists to speak about this. And my recommendation to the international community is to tell them to sanction President Weah and his government, to sanction, to stop
Can I question your breaking news?
To stop every aid of the gender ministry, because the gender ministry is completely not working anymore.
Yeah, when do we expect this? I don't know. There's a lot of questions.
Yeah, it will be on. I will be appearing on the program on Tuesday.
And who's hosting that program?
It will be an international program along with the president of the EU and other dignitaries that will be on.
Who's hosting it one, and where can we follow it?
Yeah, I will post the link on my page when I'm there so that they can hear my voice. I am a voice. I've dedicated my life to advocacy from the age of 15, and I'm still here fighting. I'm going to fight.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good news. But first thing, your first target should be Prophet Key to stop cursing you women. That's the first thing you should look at. If she abusing you women, you're not talking about that.
You saw my post one time. I wrote, I'm gonna deal with Prophet Key. When I'm ready to deal with Prophet Key, I'll go straight to the Moroccan authorities and ask him to be out of that.
I mean, Prophet Key started when I say crazy, me like crazy, you can run, boy. I mean, you got the ball, smart things we're talking about. You coming for all tomorrow.
It doesn't matter.
Are you afraid? Are you afraid of him? Don't be afraid of
we've been suffering for the political thing. Past election, I was supporting GMB. All the sedition were causing people, man. This time, because I see somebody better than GMB. Now, all my friends in the GMB camp, somebody say, I'm crazy. What's wrong with you? I said, nothing wrong with me. Is I'm not supporting GMB now, but I'm saying,
let's forget about that, man. My advocacy now. My advocacy with regards to the issue we're talking about, I have seen everything on Facebook. I have seen everything in our Liberian community, so no one can tell me anything. No one can tell me, oh, this person is not a true advocate, this person. I know everybody from A to Z. This is why, as a leader if you want to carry out a good decision, you have to live among the people. You have to see everything with your own eyes, and then you take the move. So I've seen everything. My
Our time is
advocacy
fast spent.
is my
Our time is fast
advocacy.
spent.
No,
So
wait,
we
I have
got
a message and I need to give it. My advocacy is for the international community to empower every strong advocate in our Liberian setting, both locally and internationally, so that they can be able to carry out the work of advocacy and bring sanity to
you're gonna
Liberia.
be on our you're gonna be on our panel soon,
The
right?
panelists, yes, I'm
Uh-huh.
going to be on the
Okay, so
panelists.
then you can make a
And
recommendation.
it's an honor. It's an honor to be among
Yeah, myself, I'm very honored that
high
you'll be there.
decision
No, but
making
we
people.
will charge you for promoting your program on our show.
Yeah, you see, you gotta pay some money for promoting your program.
Your panel.
Your upcoming program.
Yeah,
Okay, guys.
okay, then y'all will pay me for being on your show every time.
No, you are a strong supporter of Mr. Comey, and so that's a different thing. But you're promoting your panel right now, so
you're promoting your
so we have to charge.
Okay.
My partners are coming to help the Liberian people.
You'll be owing. Oh, that one we can understand. You owing us. You'll pay your money.
They are coming to help the Liberian people, especially our women and children. They have cried for too long. They need someone to bring them out.
We'll discuss that because we got some questions to ask you with regard to your women revolution or women struggle or vanguard you guys set up. You're always talking on the phone. You don't. People are struggling, dying out of they got issue to handle. If you go down all the way Sacred, coming down to Fishtown, all the way to Cape Mine area, women are there. They need bread and butter.
But this is why we need to empower. We need to strengthen those non-governmental organizations.
That's what we're talking about. Stop this issue. You give them bread and butter. That's what they need most.
Yeah, they need more. They've been beating our great grandmother.
Everything is not about bread and butter. First of all, you have to empower. You have to empower the women. They need to be empowered. And how can you empower them?
All the women are married.
It's not a laughing issue, and it's a serious issue. The issue of abuse and violence in Liberia is not a laughing issue. It's a serious issue.
I agree. Serious. This is how I am. So now, even if you're doing bad things, I can be laughing sometimes. People think,
she's making a point. I mean, you're just saying that we have a lot of questions for her when they come up because I have issues. Women are doing it, and you come out is a good idea. But we have heard thousands of them before Madame Soye became president. Hundreds of women struggle came about. Nothing, they all died down because they didn't have complete support. They didn't have the resources. They struggle. These vanguards will die early. They'll die early death because they don't have the resources to carry on their plan works. You see, if you want to talk about my mother or my sister being abused down the line, first and foremost, you pour 2 cases to go to sell for them. The husband has abandoned their own accompanying mothers. In case are there, they don't have money, they got anything to feel on. You telling them about who to vote for or who to play a political right, they won't listen to you. The one first thing what to gather, the kid is down there having malaria, need to be treated in the nearby clinic. There's no malaria medicine in the nearby clinic. How do we empower those people? Those are things I would like to ask you tomorrow when you come up. Anyway, it's a good plan. We wish you the best and success.
We'll support you. We'll be there for you. But guys, we got important things here that we end up with. I don't know how many of you have heard about the ALP sued Mr. Alexander Cummings for forgery. The case is the case is in court. Then I heard
we fought inside suing.
They sue Musa Benete. And Musa Benete turned around and sued. So I know which of the cases will be the first. But I was thinking about something. They sue in business the way going around. So
they sue in business.
I'm the ANC never sue anybody. But I'm not ANC can sue JMB because JMB admitted that they squander. And you can't have a squanderer going to run to be president. So
ANC cannot sue that. George Weah need to sue that because George Weah said when he talked leadership, George Weah said it took they inherited depleted coffers.
But it seems George Weah agreed with that.
No, he said if you see the first newspaper, I read one of the newspapers said they inherited a broke government, a broke leadership, a broke coffers. So they didn't have anything. So if the old man came up and said, that they squander or they had a squander opportunities. And those bogus contract is signed. The government of Liberia has all right on the leadership of George Weah to sue JMB and whoever and the Madam Salif for giving an inherited property. So I think that should be. But you know what? You know, Mr. Cummings, he will not sue anybody. He's not a guy who we know his kind of character he is. He's a decent man. He wants better for Liberia, like we always say. Like do all those things here, like you know. A friend told me a year ago or two. He said, "Look, Jamal, if you form a political conglomerate or political collaborations at the early stage, 2-3 years, you're not going to go anywhere." I said, "Why?" He said, "Opposition will come. I mean, the government ruling party because we are greedy Liberians. Some other guy in there, and for some personal interest." And today, I think I came back to recollect what he said to me. He said, "We'll break it out because we are not principle minded. We just want it for ourselves. So what we do, we'll come behind Auntie, what do you want? Look at Auntie whole life and put 10,000 into your pocket. And tell Auntie your children go to school in Switzerland for another 10 years. Auntie is looking at her personal, I'm just an example, Auntie looking at her personal interest right now. Not looking at the Liberian interest. That's what happened. I mentioned in our past program with regard
patriotic. Patriotic. We are not nationalistic.
Yeah.
If we are nationalistic, we have the country interest at heart, then we will stand for what is right.
I told you the last program we had about George Weah is really playing his game very well. He sat there, he said how to play the game. This boy, you think that boy's dull. He's not dull, he's very smart. You got people around him, they are strategists.
But the man is a footballer who live in Europe.
No,
people who live in Europe here.
The boys that are around him, the people that are around him, they know how to break down, that they can break down the system. I'm telling you, that's what happened. We overlooking that. He's not. That's why he's not having to. He's not reshoveling his government. He won't reshovel that government. Go that he brings so bad around him. People like McGill and the rest of that other boy that not.
That's why when Fred talks about some idea experience, George is not doing anything.
So what he's doing, I was telling you about Nyomli. Nyomli is in the house. She can strongly, Nyomli literally will holding her money. She will finish. You ain't got no source of income. The old man. MTN, Lone Star can be business. You can put lawsuit against them for some other reason, tax evasion, whatever. They will finish him. You see 2% dead already. They will put kind of security on whoever is behind. So the high can kill them, but the only person you can put case against is Mr. Cummings to throw him out of the court or chasing out, to throw in court, being in court or being in jail or throwing out of the country. So Georgia guys are strategists. They are doing very well, everything positive. This is a game. So you see what is happening? They turn it with the women case. They turn the attention to Ava, Tokba, and Emmanuel Clark instead of him. When the legislation should bring him to face them, to explain to why you should describe Liberian women like this in a book you know about it. You know, so what I'm saying here is Mr. Cummings will not take anybody to court. Emma, you heard him, but most of the time he will tell you guys.
And we get time for that.
Costa also reviewed that they have new strategy now. So I'm suspecting that this forgery case against him now might not hold. So the next strategy is that yesterday Costa said the new thing they'll do is that they will sue him because he's American citizen. They'll use that against him not to run. So it has become clear that Cummings is a target
He was nobody at the time, Nobody knew him. He was he was nobody. Now, in fact, we go to primary, we will flock him. They won't know him. They're not popular. Not this. Now, what's happening? We told him the man playing to the, like we always say here. He know the matters. He found the geopolitics of Liberia. He understand the game. He may not be 100%. He learning very fast. He's a very fast learner. So he's catching up very fast, and that's why he's feeling them. And the fear they have also is that he can buy them out. If he doesn't have them to buy his out, they can buy anybody out. So definitely, that's it. They already gave their own decision. So Mr. Cummings will not take anybody to court. He wants better for Liberia. That's the old man. He wants to sit down and talk. In one of the conversations, he said, he will have issues. The so-called experienced JMB should have discussed the issue in the house as a traditionalist. Nothing happened. He was waiting to sit down. He was willing to talk to anybody. You've talked to Mr. Cummings a couple of times. He told us one time, I'll tell you right now, do not insult JMB. Do not insult BNIU. Do not insult anybody.
He's a good leader,
Do not say if they insult me, that didn't do it. That's the way of doing it. He's the kind of person he is. I'm telling you straight. I'm a strong ANC supporter. I'm telling you what he is. That's why I like kind of character he is. Whatever the situation, I will handle it. Don't go to that level. I'm not going to accept that. We've seen that around him. A lot of people that have been misbehaved, he asked them to resign or leave the job without even making any noise. So we didn't expect Mr. Cummings to take anybody to court. Even if somebody calling you gay and other stuff, you should take him to court, right? Right?
After,
Somebody call him gay. What the guy
But
mean?
une gay know their friend.
this guy, Ober, Saturday.
And they
Maybe
call him.
Ober somebody boss a bot so that why he know.
Having said all of these things, there's some good news for the ANC.
Okay.
Like I was saying, the ALP, Mr. Cummings, the case is in court, right? But the same ALP, there are people coming to Mr. Cummings. So we got some clips there that we'll play.
We also have a breaking news coming from Lofa. The chairman for Unity Party in Lofa just resigned. The old car racing car and party.
We'll go to join you in the newsroom again. Go on.
Yeah. So let's see what happened today at the
This election is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good ride to 2023.
let's take a look first. Let's just make our viewers to know what we're talking about here. We have the former national chair for mobilization for the unity. I mean, for the all liberal party, that Benoni Agure party. The man resigned in January, and now they decided to join the ANC today. So we'll play that clip just a part of
yes,
real
changes here. Liberia deserve better.
But listen, man, before you play that clip, after you play a clip, I'll tell you my comment about that. Go on, sir.
Okay. Breaking news.
If you do a historical retrospect of Grand Cape Mount County from the establishment of the county, and you were counting the top 5 honest people from Grand Cape Mount County, my father was among those. Very honest man. I remember in 1975, he was principal of the high school. And those days, they used to do the care food program under the U.S. government. And we ran all the rice in our house. I think I was like in the 10th grade. I still drinking milk. We ran all of those basic items, and they were in the school's cafeteria. And my mom said to him, he said, Daddy, but there's no rice. He said, yeah, but I will look for money and buy rice. He said, but y'all got rice in the warehouse. I said, yeah, I rice in the warehouse for us, but not for us. Which means for us, the school, but not us, the family. And it was some of those qualities of discipline and integrity I have seen in Alexander Benedict Cummings. I want to send a morning shout out to everyone in the ANC. I don't play at work. And I come to work. And with hard work, we achieve our goals. If you think I came to bluff, no, bluffing not for me. I will not be the one going out there to waste my time. I came to work. We want to assure you we'll put our fullest into this. And by January 2024, we'll reap what we sow. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Jamet.
Oh, hey, listen. ALP is just a family club. It's not a party post. That's what I want to tell you. It's a family club.
Family club.
It's not a party. You know, and he was a spoiler. He brought him as a spoiler to just cause trouble. You know what you're looking at. Well, if we have a collaboration, you know what we're talking about here. If Kumi has had an issue before, you should settle down. Even if Kumi had, let's agree, Kumi alleged he made a forgery to that party. You should let Kumi be who he is. He run a party. They go separate way. If the common enemy is George Weah, you should have gone for George Weah. And then they have something. They can always come together during the time of the second term or maybe second round. If you don't agree right now, you'll go separate way and vote. But you know this guy came to just the guy can run for country president. You know that. He's another one, the bragger who say he's gonna bring what is the cult name? The Freemason. He's the chief of Freemason. He'll make sure that they'll go back to Freemason, and which is the people. I mean, I don't have a problem with Freemason, but this guy it's a family club. You see that people are living in droves. They don't all the thing he's doing. He's not promising that they're not getting anything.
Yeah, because the man is selfish. He's only there to protect his property.
I want to say something quickly before I go back with Mr. Kumi. As they talk about how honest he was for the last statement the guy made. You know, Mr. Kumi won the meeting. He said to us, "Say, look, somebody told him, Mr. Kumi, somebody is coming every day, calls you, insult you. If someone insult your father, he's saying to insult you. If a man saying it's not to insult you, Send your son to insult him again. He said, no, I will not send my son to insult anybody. That's the kind of description they are describing. He's a man of integrity. Look, if you've met Mr. Comey and sit with him, he had a man of charisma, intelligent, smart learner.
Yeah.
So when Friday was talking about Liberia, we will not learn, you experience. These are where they used to go away. There's not enough. Comey can pick on that country and organize that country in a proper way. We all will benefit, my brother.
Yeah.
I'm telling you something, but we are emotional over issues. We don't want to be honest with ourselves. That's the point. So AFP is not going anywhere. You know, guys, you will see.
We still got 2 more clips.
Okay.
The last 2 are for Cummings, but they are strategic.
Okay.
One of them, Cummings work on the people and he gave them a strong warning. Then the other one, the last one, he laid out his plan. So I think we just roll everything, then we comment on it last minute time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to ABC one. Let's hear what he has to say.
To Homo Samurai and to all the former ELP members who are joining us today, welcome. To our party chair, on behalf of him, our VC, all the officers of the ANC, we sincerely welcome you to the party where everybody is somebody. You know, you are taking a courageous step today. Your party made a decision, announced a decision to leave the CPP. You disagreed with that decision, and you decided to come and join us. And for that, we are grateful. We're proud of you and again, welcome to this. Let me say to you that we at the ANC are committed to changing our country for the benefit of all Liberians. I remind you though, if you're joining us because you want a chance to play big shot, to chop the Liberian people money when we win, we're the wrong political party. If you are joining us because you want to come join us so we can work together, so we can change the system, change the country for the benefit of all Liberians, then you join the right party.
Yeah, that was a strong warning. So Fred was saying that Mr. Cummings should examine most of the people around him. Now, you hear what Mr. Cummings told the people?
Yeah.
If you are coming here, you want to be bishop, my friend, you're to the wrong place. You're in the right church, but on the wrong bench. Get back and go back to where you come from. But if you are coming here for also serving Liberian people, then I think you are to the right place.
I will tell you something, Quev. You know, I have a lot of interaction with Mr. Comey. He came to London one time. We went to see him. We called him to come. He came. He said, Liberian, first time coming to me. He lived in London for 4 years as co-club president, vice president, before he moved to Nigeria and later to South Africa. He said to us, when we met him, he said, Liberians who didn't know they were ANC men, we were all just coming. We were ANC staff that want to see him. Other Liberians came to see him. He opened up, everybody come and see him. He said, people were carrying their CV, cornering him, telling him how qualified they are, how they were. He didn't say anything. He came out, he said to a meeting, he said, oh, Liberians, if you think ANC is a place to find a job, forget it. You have to be competent.
Yeah.
You have to have the characters. You have to show the Liberian that the nationalism should be in you. He laid out some points that we saw. Man, many people drew back. And there were for nothing for I knew that, man. I'm talking about 2018 up to now, still the same woman. You know, people keep saying that we can't hold Alvan Rich. I mean, Mr. Comey was for Alvan Richard. I mean, Alvan Tupac attitude. You didn't know he was. He wrote that story when CDC. The book was published before. He got all the story before he became the chief of staff of ANC, standard bearer. So whatever he has done, of course, it's not decent. But Mr. Comey would not have known. If he did not, if I was telling a job where did not read their own book that he signed.
No, we can't. Mr. Cummings is out of his.
Yeah, so I'm just saying
out
so
of this.
he's
So
a
no
very,
one should
very
put him
Mr.
in.
Comey, going back to his speech, always if you follow Mr. Comey's speech, he always outlines something positive. If you look at Georgia's inaugural speech, it was empty. You look at the recent nation speech, Union of the Nation, Union of States address is empty.
So what you have to hold on? So you can't hold on anything. When you look at the whole speech, when I think BBC were analyzing his speech when he became president, they said nothing to pick to tell the Liberian people that he would deliver. The propaganda, the program he came up with is nothing to show, except now he's trying to lay some greater some play, put some quota in Liberia. You know, drip some quota water on it. Suppose he making roll like those places. I mean, he's trying to show some sense, some work, but Comey is always going to make that leeway. People are going to join him because he's honest. But we need to learn to be honest. And because we are hungry people in Liberia, we don't have food to eat. We will follow our guts. That's why we're looking at. And this kind of trouble thing, and because if I'm from Lofa County, Mr. JMB is from that side. I've lived around Monserrado, Kirisbury area. I will give support to Mr. Yue or Mr. Boyka because I'm a Kisi man from Lofa. That's the point. And that's why we shouldn't go back. We should be principle-minded. So that's the issue we have in our country. So Mr. Comey is coming to change that. And this is why we have these shows to tell the Liberian people, follow the real story, the truth. We are telling him who he is. We are selling him here to the people. He is not perfect. He's a human being, though. We're not saying he's perfect.
He just struck a good point. He also talked about some of the reason why the people do not want him to succeed, because he has a plan for Liberia. Let's do that last clip, and then we can be wrapping up to go now.
We are determined to manage the resources of our country so that everybody can benefit, all of you here, and the 5 million Liberians. Liberia is too rich a country for us to be so poor. I was in the western part of Liberia with Senator Natin and Senator Simeon Taylor. 2 different trips. We're in Kifban in Joy, Go Camp, and they go there living in the country. And then the people there who money, water, bad roads, no electricity, no schools. Well, in Westward, with Senator Natin, used to be the diamond capital of Liberia. Almost all the diamonds gone, and there's nothing in the town. We cannot keep doing these things and then we call ourselves leaders and president and ministers and superintendents. We gotta change the system so that every Liberian benefits from the resources of this country. Because that's what we offer, the system will fight back. The people that benefit from the way things are, they're not gonna want to change it.
You see, Mr. Cummings is still committing the one sin here. The sin that, the one sin he committed that landed him in court, that he wants to do the best for Liberia, that he doesn't want to do things the old way. And it was we certain the thing or at least when 4 all go together, will be strong enough against we are. Then the mayor one can bring organize thing. He talking about more do things different way. That is seeing what Mr. Cummings committed. And you just heard him, guys, wrap up quickly on that clip. Andre, we'll start with you. What did you get?
Yeah, Linfo, I've always said it. The more you listen to Mr. Cummings' speech, the more you fall in love with his his style of leadership, the more you wish that tomorrow can be election so that he can be elected and turn this country around for the better. And that's just it. That is the reason why the other people hate him, because they feel that this man is going to be a threat to them. What have kept the Liberian people in the dark for so many years, he is about to bring it to light. He's about to show the Liberian people what it's like to live in a good country, to live in a better society where you can work and earn your own money, where your children can be able to go to the same school as those ministers and senators, where it's like for a minister or senator to go to the same hospital, what it's like for a government hospital to be free and also have a better facility, what it's like to have a safe drinking water 24 hours around the clock, electricity, and everything. That's just it. That is the Liberia that Mr. Cummings wants for everyone, a corruption-free, most especially holding people accountable for what they do and not allowing impunity to reign all through. So yeah, I support this man, and I pray and hope by the grace of God he can be the next president of Liberia.
Chamet?
Yeah, thank you very much. I just don't want to repeat what my sister said. I'll just tell you a few things. You know, what happened in Liberia, government in Liberia, most African countries, Liberia in general, government is a major employer. Mr. Kumi comments most of time is speaking of private sector. How do we improve that? Invest into the private sector, improve the lives of Liberian SMEs, small, medium enterprises. Put money in there, let the people grow. So they will not focus on the government. They will not find government job. And he's talking about this. People keep asking anytime you go on an interview, from 800 million to 5 billion. He told her, how can do it? I mean, tell me which other politician have told you that. I'm taking the budget from this level to this level. I promise you I'm going to do it. These are the things he's saying. I mean, those are key words you're holding to. Those are pillars, principles he coming on with a campaign. I'm telling you, I'm taking it to 800 million, our national budget, to 5 billion. I will improve the ecotourism. You got natural ecotourism here. We improve the sector, the rural areas. We want to improve the lives of the people. He's traveled everywhere. This guy lives in Nigeria. He lives in South Africa. He lives in Kenya. He knows how they live. He gone all over the world. That's what this guy can stay out of politics for the rest of his life. He's rich. You know what will happen? He will go and work with international organizations for the rest of their life. He may enjoy his money. But this is not what we're not seeing. If this guy can, the past 2017 up to now, he's campaigning. He's risking his life for our people. This guy's not worried. He could go late. Don't care. I don't care about Liberian politics. He can go and stay there for the rest of his life, enjoy. But he's going out there. I don't want to be a Liberian. I'm better off when my people are struggling. Can we get this? This is the key. Private sector, education, healthcare. We go to Morocco, Ghana, Abidjan, India for treatment. We got South Liberian doctors. Where are these situations? We build a hospital. We got Jackson Abdul Memorial Hospital there in Tapita with no medication. Nice hospital. We build a 14 Merita Hospital. What kind of thing is this? JFK is there with one of the major West Africa. When I was growing up, West Africa, most people used to come from around West Africa to JFK for treatment. I'm just saying something here. We need to follow what this guy is saying. It's a magnitude in his statement, substance in his statement. That's why I got me a trial to the ANC, more especially Mr. Kumi. You know what he's talking about. Let's hold him for what he said. Yeah. So we change Liberia for better. You and myself, we enjoy. We will understand it. We will compare our country to other countries in West Africa. Look at Ivory Coast. One of the best in the region, the way they started it. We don't want to see
Ivory Coast is far better than us.
So we are saying here, I'm saying here, let's forget about who Mr. Kumi. Let's see beyond him and see what he's saying. Take words, his message, and hold him for what he is. I said to you right now, when Joshua made his inaugural statement, it was empty. Go back and read it, and trust me, it was empty. And now he made a Union of State address. It was empty. Now, cut and paste what he did when he was senator, cut and paste report and stuff like that. Now we're talking about this guy's outlining things that he would do when he become president. Can we get it? I mean, he said enough. This is I want to just tell you. We follow him. We follow the thing he told us. We'll get it. And once you question, he will tell you how it's going to happen. How you going to raise the money? The people keep asking, how you going to take 800 million to 5 billion? He told you. And you keep repeating himself. You're going to bring investors. My brother, I'll tell you one thing. If you improve the health sector of our country, you bring more small companies. You get Liberian money to businesses. A lot of women. Our women that look after our very houses. Put them into businesses, small businesses. Improve the road network. Farm road. The farm to our road, to our markets. Improve that. Get our wives, our sisters, children that are single mothers, children to school without struggling to pay school fee. Healthcare should be of almost like free. You will see the life of our people. Income will be middle-aged income. This is what basic information we're missing. And this is what the guy aiming to do for us.
But Liberia can make a major impact with regards to the agricultural sector. You are already blessed. But it just takes a good leader to bring all of these qualities out so that, in the rebuilding process of the country. And we cannot do that. Those other people cannot do that because they don't have the willpower to do it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. It's been a very, very good night. And those of you who listen to us, we expect you to pass on the message. This is the message as outlined by Mr. Cummings and reiterated by my colleague right here. It's simple: good healthcare, good schools, good agriculture program. No, once your stomach full, you're healthy, you'll be happy to go to school. See, so it's very simple. And this is somebody who people say are not working government, but he got the idea. How you know that we need good healthcare? When the people who in government all the year do not even say anything about it. So take the message. If you can speak Pele, go and interpret to our old people in the village. Those of you who can speak Mani, Mano, Gyo, all the kind of languages. Tell your family, spread the message that there is a man with new plan on the plan. But this program comes on every Tuesday and Friday right here on the bottom line. So we'll be here again on Tuesday, and we hope that you can be our guest. And Andre, thank you very much tonight. You did well. You represented the women. You fought in the interest of the women, and we hope other women can help you. And we look forward to that program that will be coming up. And Jamel, I just can't explain how analytical you were, or you always been anyway. Your analysis power, that's what gives the program one of the boosts that it needs. And my name is Linford. I want to say thanks to every one of us that took part on this program, and even those of you that watch the program, because without you, my friend, would not be here. So make it your business to always come here, pass the message on that there is a new platform somewhere called The Bottom Line, and this is where we discuss the issues and to the bottom. Thanks a lot. Before we leave you, here's a message for you, a very short message.